Hey guys, I just wanted to make a little review for you for chapter 4 with the different representations of where we can find the M and the B in our rule, our graph, our pattern, and our table. So you're going to see some examples like this coming up in class, and I just want you to understand kind of how we can see this. It's a nice little wrap up for this chapter. So if you remember with a rule, I have a y equals, and then the m, right? This m represents the growth. Okay, so it's that number that's in front of the x. Then the b part of our rule is that plus or minus whatever number at the end of our rule. That is not known as our zero number, or the number of tiles in figure 0, or when x is 0, what y is, or sometimes it's even called our y-intercept. There's a lot of different words for it. So I'm going to take each of these and show you where they show up in all of these 4 representations. So for the first one, for m, in my rule, I can see that is right here. It's this 4. Okay, so I would drag my circle around the 4, and it's actually not even around the x. It's just supposed to be around the 4. So that's where it shows up in the rule. In a graph, my growth, right, my m would show up in the growth from one lattice point to another. So we would show that by drawing a growth triangle. So you're going to want to take the blue one. Make sure that you take the right color because we do give you both. But the m is always in blue. So we're going to take that, and you can either use this, these 2 lattice points here, this bottom one here, and then this top one, or the top one and the bottom one over here and top one. And we just have to line them up so that the end of one is on a lattice point here, and the end of another is on a lattice point here. And then we're going to go ahead and label in these gray boxes the amount of squares, basically, that it's taking up. So I can see that from this lattice point, all I'm doing is going over 1 to the left. So I'm just going to label that a 1. So you would type a 1 in this blank. And then when we count how many boxes we have here, I can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes. So I'm going up 4. So I would just type a little 4 right there. Okay, and that is how we would label our growth triangle, and that's how we would show growth on a graph. All right, so now moving over to a tile pattern. If we were going to show growth, again, make sure that you're grabbing blue because on the key, blue is your growth. So we would figure out, okay, so from figure 0 to figure 1, what tiles are being added. I can see that I've got this like kind of tail that's going up. So I'm adding 2 tiles, it looks like, up here. So I would take a blue tile and another blue tile and cover both of those up. And then I also am noticing that there's this part that's going horizontal, right? I'm adding 2 tiles right here as well. So I would take 2 more blue tiles and I would just cover up those. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. So now what tiles are being added? Well, again, I'm extending this tail, diagonal tail. So I'm adding those 2. That's new, right, from this figure. And then I'm also adding 2 over here. So we can kind of also see our growth of 4, right, is showing up here. So 4, our growth of 4 here, we're adding 4 tiles into our tile pattern. And I'm going to again grab the blue arrow because I'm showing growth, that from the 2 to the 6, and then in the little box here is a growth of 4, right? Because 2 plus 4 is 6. Okay, so make sure all of those are blue. Then when we switch over to our B, remember that's our y-intercept, that's our 0 number. So where does that show up in our rule? Well, it's that plus number right here, right at the end of our rule. So in a graph, that's called my y-intercept. It's where my graph crosses over or intersects with my y-axis, which runs up and down. So I'm going to make sure I take pink this time, and I'm going to circle that little dot right there where my graph crosses over my y-axis. Okay, make sure that you get the right color coding here, otherwise it's not going to be correct. You will have some extra pieces left over. Okay. All right, in a pattern, where do I see my 0 number? Well, I look for figure 0, and then those tiles are what I'm going to use. So make sure that you're using pink for these, and we're just going to cover these tiles up. Just get them close like that. That's fine. Because those are the tiles in figure 0. There are 2 of them. All right. The last thing in our table, we see our 0 number right here, right? When x is 0, whatever y is. So I'm going to take my pink arrow. Oops, that's my blue one. Oh, nope, it was my pink one. Never mind. And I'm going to just draw that little circle right around these numbers right here, just showing that 0, when x is 0, y is 2. So that's my 0 figure number, my 0, my y-intercept, and my y-intercept in my rule. Okay, I hope that helps. Leave the rest of these random things there, but don't use those. Okay, so that's how you would use this and how you would show the different representations of M and B in each of these. All right, thank you guys. Please ask if you have any questions. Bye.